Hello and welcome to the eZintegrations walkthrough demo. In this video, I'll take you through the key features and functionalities of our eZintegrations application with a working demo of creating an integration bridge between Salesforce CRM and Oracle NetSuite ERP. Let's get started. Once a user logins to eZintegrations, the user will be directed to the dashboard page as you can see on the screen. In order to get started for creating an integration bridge, we have to click on the eZintegrations icon. After clicking on eZintegrations, the user will be directed to the integration bridge page as you can see on the screen. In the integration bridge page, a user is given access to the list of all the integration bridges that have been created already in the system. And in order to create a new integration bridge, we have to click on the Add button. Once we click on Add button, we will be directed to the integration bridge creation page where on the top we can see the 4 important elements that are required for creating an integration bridge. Those 4 important elements are data source, data operations, data target, and finally summary. Let's configure each of these elements individually in order to create a new integration bridge. Before configuring data source, let us have a look into our data source, that is Salesforce. As you can see on the screen, I have already logged into the Salesforce account. Under Contacts tab, here we can see different contacts present in the Salesforce. For today's integration bridge, we will be inserting a contact information from Salesforce to Oracle NetSuite ERP. Now, let's start by configuring data source. In the data source, the first step is to select the source type. Once we click on source type, we will be given the options of API, database, and Intel 360 data lake. I'll be selecting API as my source type. After selecting API as my source type, the next step is to select the product name. Once we click on product name, we will be getting a drop-down list of all the products that are configured in our system. If at all, a user has a requirement of using any new product that is not configured in the system, they can do it by selecting the option of Create New. Currently, I'll be selecting Salesforce as my product. After selecting the product, the next step is to select the business object. Once we click on business object, we get a drop-down list of all the business objects that are present under the product. And currently, my requirement is to fetch the contact details of the customer in Salesforce. So, I'll be selecting the business object as contacts. Once I select the business object, you will be getting all the details of the API required for establishing the connection. As you can see on the screen, I got my API endpoint URL and authorization details that are needed to establish a connection to the Salesforce. As we can see, the authorization here used is OAuth 2.0. Here in OAuth 2.0, under refresh token endpoint body, we have to provide details like grant type, client ID, client secret, and username and password. And these details are must in order to establish a connection to the Salesforce CRM. After giving in all the required details, the user can test the response of the API here itself. When we click on the test button, we will be getting the response as shown on the screen. And it is one of the key features of eZintegrations where user actually tests the data source before establishing the connection. The next step is to configure the data operations. When we click on data operations, user will be provided with many different types of operations as you can see on the screen. And those operation types include data transformation operations, data wrangling operations, data orchestration operations, data cleaning operations, and also we have pipeline controls and deep learning operations. Based on the user requirement, the user can drag the operation and drop it in the empty space. Once the user drops the operations in the empty space, the user will be provided with the YouTube video and the documentation link wherein, if at all the user doesn't understand the use case of the operation, the user can easily go through the YouTube video or the documentation page and understand more about the operation. Currently, I'll be using two operations for my integration bridge. The first one is single line to multi-line, which I have selected already, and the second is append operation. So I'll drag the append operation and drop it after the single line to multi-line. Once again, when I dropped, as you can see on the screen, the user is provided with YouTube video as well as the documentation link, wherein user can understand more about the operation. After filling in all the required parameters inside those operations, the next step is to configure the data target. Here, the first step is to select the target type. When we click on the target type, we will be getting a drop-down list where we can have the options of API, database, BizIntel 360 data lake, and email. So currently, as per my requirement, I select API as my target type. After selecting the target type as API, the next step is to select the target name. And here, my target name is Oracle NetSuite. So I select the Oracle NetSuite as my target name. After selecting the Oracle NetSuite as my target name, the next step is to select the business object. So when we click on the business object, we will be getting the business objects present under the target name Oracle NetSuite. Now, as per my requirement, I select customer as my business object. Once we select the customer as business object, we get all the required API details. After filling in the required details in the prerequest script and in other required areas, the next step is to configure the summary. Once we click on summary, the next step is to write the name of the integration bridge. I will be naming my integration bridge as Salesforce to Oracle NetSuite bridge. In the description, I will be describing the basic information about the bridge. In this case, that would be like fetching the customer contact information from Salesforce and inserting it into Oracle NetSuite. After description, we can schedule the time interval as per our requirement. Here, the interval represents how long the API request hits the server, and in this case, we set the interval to 6000 seconds, meaning the API request hits the server after every 6000 seconds. The next step is to click on Submit. After clicking on Submit, our bridge is successfully created. After creating the bridge, we can click on the play button to start the bridge. After starting the bridge, we can check on live streaming logs. In live streaming logs, we will be getting information about what's actually happening inside the bridge when it is in running state. As you can see on the screen, we got each and every detail of the operations applied as well as the records that has been inserted into the Oracle NetSuite. And also, live streaming logs give the info about any error that occurred inside the integration bridge while running. So, with the help of live streaming logs, we will be getting all the information about the activities inside the integration bridge when it is in a running state. Once we are done with the sending our data, we can click on the stop button. In order to check whether our data has been inserted into Oracle NetSuite, I have logged in to Oracle NetSuite account as you can see on the screen. On the search bar, I'll be searching the contact which I have inserted into Oracle NetSuite. As you can see on the screen, the contact information has been successfully inserted into Oracle NetSuite. It just took us around 5 to 10 minutes to create an integration bridge between Salesforce API to Oracle NetSuite API. In the same way, we can create complicated integration bridges within minutes by inputting the required details. Thank you for joining us for this walkthrough of eZintegrations application. We hope you found this demo helpful and informative. To learn more about our software and its benefits, visit our website at www.bizdata360.com. Stay connected with us on our social media for updates and news. If you have any questions or would like to inquire further, feel free to reach us out at through email, that is support@bizdata360.com. Thank you again for watching.